Imagine you wake at the edge of a vast plateau in what is now southwestern Iran, in the region of Fars. There is no transition, no warning, only light, clear, unfiltered, and sharp against stone. The air carries dust, dry earth, and the faint scent of wild herbs. Before you stretches the Marvdasht plain. And then, suddenly, the land changes. Not by nature, by design. The earth has been cut and raised into a monumental terrace of limestone, lifted above the plain with deliberate precision. At its summit stands a city the Greeks would later call Persepolis, the city of the Persians, but its builders knew it by another name, Parsa. You are standing at the ceremonial heart of the Achaemenid Empire in the 5th century BC, at a moment when it was among the largest political entities the world had yet seen. Before you rises a staircase, broad, symmetrical, and unusually shallow. It is not built for urgency. It is built for procession. Each step regulates movement, slows the body, aligns the crowd. You begin to ascend, and soon you are no longer alone. Around you are delegations from across a vast imperial world, regions that stretch from Anatolia and Egypt in the west to Central Asia and the Indus Valley in the east. Their clothing differs, their languages differ, yet each group carries offerings. Reliefs carved into the stone nearby show similar processions, figures bearing textiles, vessels, animals, and crafted goods. These images are not literal snapshots of specific events. They are carefully composed representations, an idealized vision of order under imperial rule. This is not chaos. This is structure. Parsa was initiated under Darius I in the late 6th century BC and expanded by his successors, including Xerxes I and Artaxerxes I. It was not the administrative capital of the empire. Governance occurred across multiple centers: Susa, Babylon, Ecbatana. Parsa served another function: ceremonial, symbolic. Possibly a site of periodic gatherings, perhaps linked by some scholars to the spring equinox festival of Nowruz, though definitive evidence for specific ceremonies remains limited. What matters is not certainty of ritual, but clarity of intent. This was a place where the empire could be represented as a whole. This AI reconstruction is based on historical records, ancient drawings, and preserved maps, carefully reimagined to bring lost cities back to life with modern technology. As for me, I have always been here, watching, witnessing, because I am Professor Kronos, a silent observer of time and all that has unfolded within it. At the top of the terrace stands the Gate of All Nations. Massive guardian figures flank the entrance, human-headed, winged bulls, influenced by earlier Mesopotamian artistic traditions. They do not merely decorate, they declare entry into a constructed world. Nearby inscriptions appear in multiple languages: Old Persian, Elamite, and Babylonian, reflecting the multilingual administration of the empire. Beyond this threshold, diversity is not erased, it is organized. You move forward into the great audience hall, the Apadana. Columns rise high above you, once supporting a roof built from imported cedar wood. Their capitals, sculpted as bulls and other animals, are both structural and symbolic. The scale is overwhelming. The space was designed to hold large gatherings, though its exact capacity is unknown. Light filters through the hall, illuminating reliefs that show delegations in ordered sequence, each identifiable by dress and gesture. At the far end would have been the king, not elevated through spectacle alone, but through architecture itself. Here, power does not need to speak loudly. It is embedded in space. Yet what you see above ground is only part of the story. Below the surface, preserved in thousands of clay tablets, another system emerges. Administrative records, many written in Elamite, document distributions of grain, wine, and livestock to workers. These texts name individuals, men and women, engaged in construction and maintenance. They show that many workers received rations or compensation, but this does not imply equality. Labor operated within a structured imperial system that could include obligation as well as payment. The scale of coordination is striking. Materials arrived from across the empire, cedar from Lebanon, precious metals from Anatolia, stone quarried locally. Road networks, including segments of what is often called the Royal Road, enabled communication across vast distances. Messages could travel with notable speed for the ancient world. This was not merely architecture, it was administration made visible. Underlying this system was a framework of ideas. Royal inscriptions reference concepts associated with truth, asha, and falsehood, druj, terms later central to Zoroastrian tradition. While the exact religious practices of the Achaemenid court remain debated, these concepts suggest a moral order tied to kingship. The king was not only a ruler, he was a guarantor of balance, between order and disorder, between truth and its opposite. No empire remains unchanged. In the late 4th century BC, a new force advances from the west, Alexander of Macedon. Between 334 and 330 BC, his campaigns defeat the Achaemenid Empire through a series of decisive battles, including those at Issus and Gaugamela. Eventually, he reaches Parsa. The city does not become the site of a prolonged siege. Control is established, and what follows is recorded in varying ways by ancient sources. Greek historians describe the seizure of a vast royal treasury, one of the largest known accumulations of wealth in the ancient world. They also recount a period of occupation, and then fire. The burning of Persepolis in 330 BC is one of the most discussed moments in ancient history. Ancient accounts differ in detail. Some describe it as a deliberate political act, a symbolic end to Achaemenid power. Others recount a banquet, where a figure named Thais is said to have urged Alexander to burn the palace in an act of revenge against Persia. Modern historians treat these accounts with caution. What is certain is this: parts of the complex were set on fire. Wooden roof structures burned. Stone surfaces were blackened. The city's function as a ceremonial center came to an end. But destruction is not disappearance. After Alexander, the region became part of Hellenistic kingdoms, followed by the Parthian Empire, and later the Sasanian Empire, a major rival of Rome. In the 7th century AD, Arab Muslim armies defeated the Sasanian state. Over time, gradually, not instantly, Islam became dominant. Yet the Persian language endured. So did literary traditions. Cultural forms adapted rather than vanished. By the Safavid period in the 16th century, a new Iranian state emerged, defining itself in part through Twelver Shia Islam. In cities like Isfahan, architecture, art, and urban planning reflected a synthesis of older Persian traditions and Islamic forms. In the 19th century, under the Qajar dynasty, Iran faced increasing pressure from expanding European powers, particularly Russia and Britain. Economic concessions, such as the Tobacco Concession, 1890, and the Darcy oil concession, 1901, sparked internal protest. These tensions contributed to the Constitutional Revolution, 1905 to 1911, which introduced a parliament and sought to limit royal authority. In the 20th century, further transformation followed. In 1953, a coup, supported by foreign intelligence services, overthrew Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh, reshaping Iran's political trajectory. In 1979, after widespread unrest, the Pahlavi monarchy collapsed. The Islamic Republic was established under Ayatollah Khomeini, fundamentally altering the state structure and its relationship with the world. Soon after, Iran entered a prolonged conflict with Iraq from 1980 to 1988. The war resulted in heavy casualties on both sides and left deep social and economic impacts. In the decades that followed, Iran experienced significant demographic change, including rapid population growth in the 1980s. Modern Iranian society reflects multiple layers: religious frameworks, urban development, global connectivity, long-standing cultural practices. Public and private life do not always align neatly. They coexist. And still, some things remain. Each year at the spring equinox, Nowruz is celebrated. Its origins extend deep into antiquity, though its meanings have evolved over time. It marks renewal, balance, the turning of the year. In homes, objects are arranged with symbolic care. In poetry, especially the works of figures like Hafez, language continues to carry centuries of thought forward into the present. The mountains remain, the plateau remains, and beneath the ruins of Parsa, the stone still holds its carvings, processions of figures forever ascending.